Fathers make an important difference in the lives of their children. A good father possesses the quality of a loving, involved, and engaging man. He really is important in both big and small ways. As we celebrate Father's Day on today's show, we'll be highlighting one of Jamaica's finest dads. We're also making time to discuss small business matters and the upcoming Caribbean MSME Conference. Stay tuned to Jamaica Magazine as the celebration continues. I am Theodore Henry. Policy, trade, and finance are the three main areas of focus for the Caribbean MSME Conference to be held from July 19 to 21 at Hilton Rose Hall in Montego Bay. President of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Hugh Johnson, tells us more.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we focus on the small business sector and a big conference that the sector will host next month, July 19 to the 21st at the Hilton Rose Hall. The president of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Mr. Hugh Johnson, is our guest today, and he'll be telling us about this conference, as well as about the significant role that the MSME sector is playing in Jamaica. We thank you so much for your company. Mr. Johnson, good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
There is a first ever Caribbean MSME conference next month. Tell us about that and the genesis of that idea.
It has been some time now that we as a people have been toying with CARICOM, and our forefathers, they instituted CARICOM for the business people of the region, for us to do business among ourselves. But it's just not happening the way
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
It was envisaged.
Right. So, you know, the leaders of the regional countries, they know each other by first name. The larger business, they have the wherewithal to get around and to do business, but not the small players. And we have been promoting for the last 50, 60 years a trickle-down approach, but there's a blockage. It's not working. We are proposing for it to go the other way, the bottom-up approach. So out of that idea, concept, we think that it's high time for the small players in the region to get to know each other, to come together and to forge a path for ourselves along with the regional governments to get business among ourselves booming and going. Because how could you expect me to compete with the great businessmen of China and I'm not able to compete against my peers? You know, the saying goes, you dance a yard before you go abroad. That's the concept here. And out of this conference, we'll be able to have the small business operators from around the region coming together, knowing each other, doing business among ourselves, and also to establish a position paper to the regional governments as it relates to what is needed to get us moving and doing business among ourselves in the region.
So the conference will tackle two main areas, or
three main areas. Three main areas.
Front.
One
is the
position,
networking.
Right, the networking, B2B. Two is an expose of, I need to get a suit, a fine suit.
Yes.
The first thing for us to do is to look to the north for it.
Yes.
Who says a man in Grenada can't produce a fine suit that I would love?
Doesn't have to be an Italian suit.
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
I need to know that and to engage these persons to do business among ourselves, to provide a better business environment. Because if we should spend our dollars among ourselves, we'll realize that we'll be better off for it, because reading a document some time ago, about 8 years ago, it shows that the regional import from North is over 8 billion US annually.
Extra regional imports.
Right.
Yes.
And small players in this space have those material, those goods and services that could fill that gap.
A lot of that.
And for that reason, I must share with you another experience I had in Grenada some years ago, where we were at this hotel and they were serving dinner, and they apologized to us for not being able to supply us vegetables on the dinner. And you know the reason for that? There was a weather in the area and the ship couldn't come for 2 weeks.
From Florida.
I'm saying, look on this. We as Jamaican, our farmers in St. Elizabeth, have been suffering for a lack of market of their product. And we are looking to the North for everything that is possible or we could ever need. These are some of the challenges.
So you want to bring the small business people together, let them become acquainted with one another, let them become acquainted with the goods and services which they can supply
from among
themselves. And the other important track you want to run on is to come up with a policy position so that the governments in the region will know what they need to do to facilitate the growth of the MSME.
Because as a practitioner in my own right, my private enterprise, I do organic fertilizer, and it's sold in Grenada.
Yes.
May I share with you that the transportation cost of the product to Grenada exceeds the unit cost of the product?
Yes.
Those issues are salient points that we need to address as a regional government to facilitate this movement among ourselves.
Are you hoping to have any of the regional prime ministers at that conference?
Yes, so far, I believe that we'll be having 3 prime ministers and 4 or 5 ministers of commerce from around the region, and also senior directorate in those ministries will be in attendance at this conference.
People from CARICOM, the CARICOM Secretariat.
Yes, they will be.
Would also be there. We're talking about an important conference coming up, being hosted by our own Small Business Association of Jamaica, an initiative out of Jamaica, out of the SBAJ, and that conference comes up on July 19. Will run between July 19 and July 21st at the Hilton Rose Hall. So small business people, this is a conference for you. You'll get to meet others of your peers at that conference. You'll be able to make important links and create the important network. We have more to tell you when we come back from this break.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica. Original.
Welcome back. Hugh Johnson is the president of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, and the SBAJ will be putting on a major conference next month at the Hilton Rose Hall, between July 19 and July 21st. And that conference will look at some critical areas to do with the small business sector, hoping to chart a way forward so the small business sector in the region, more particularly Jamaica, can play the kind of role and live up to the potential that it has. What will be some of the areas that the conference will deal with? Because you will have various sessions at the conference.
Well, we'll be devising 3 tracks. One to look on policies, the other to look on trade among ourselves, and the third is finance.
Oh, finance. Okay.
Those 3 tracks will be dealt with simultaneously in breakout sessions, and if you go on the SBAJ website, the conference website, you'll be able to see.
So people can go on the SBAJ website.
Correct.
And they can get
lead you
details
of
the
further
conference
details
and of the sessions.
Conference. Correct.
That's already available.
Yeah.
Yes. And financial institutions will be there also.
Yes, I must share with you that SBAJ, when we conceptualized this program, we went to the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, MICAF, and we have immediate buy-in. They are supporting us. They are our partners.
In fact, the minister has already launched the conference.
Correct.
Minister
correct.
Caenwood.
Jamaica National has come on board as the title sponsor.
Jamaica National is, yes.
Caribbean Development Bank has come on board with a sizable grant to us to facilitate movements around the region. Caribbean Airline is on board supporting this program and enabling us to the success, to be successful. So it has total buy-in from the wide cross-section of
sections.
Right, and in fear of leaving out any.
Yes, yes, you're not exhausted.
Because we have DBJ, which is on board with grant to us to facilitate this.
Yes. So you're getting the support. People are liking the idea. Hugh Johnson.
If I may share with you that regional persons are more enthusiastic about this because the term that uses is God-sent, is God-given.
People are saying this was long overdue.
And that is why
the region needed this.
And that is why we have the commitment of 3 prime ministers as well already to be there.
Yes, and our own prime minister
will be there.
Will be giving a keynote address.
Correct.
Yes.
And I must share with you that Prime Minister Woolness, in his wisdom, he had appointed me to the CARICOM Review Commission.
Oh, you were on that commission?
I was a commissioner on that commission.
Which has completed its report.
We have completed the work and we have submitted the report to the government. And out of that, it has borne out the greater need for such an event.
Okay. So you, having been a member of that important Golden Commission on the Caribbean
Review,
would have had Bruce
Golden,
former Prime Minister, you would have had a lot of material at your disposal, a lot of information about CARICOM, about what is happening in the region. That should have
too much
enriched. That would have enriched you,
and it has strengthened my resolve
that we need to get people together.
Because, as you would have read, the thought process behind that coming together of those leaders years back to form this, it strengthened my resolve to push even further. And for that reason, we have decided through the committee to have, at least for the first 3 years, conference of this nature. Well, after that, we might go to biennial, but for now, we want to. The great Newton law of motion says the greatest force is to begin.
Yes.
So in starting up, we want to get that momentum going and stir that interest
yearly
for the first
3 years.
And sponsors even courting us for
next year.
not next year, 5-year contract.
Is that so?
5 year.
That's no hype. That's a fact.
And I must share with you that we have signed contract for 3 years with entities to sponsor and be partner with us in this endeavor.
And you told me off here that you're going to be announcing the dates for the next conference when you had this conference next month.
At the end of the conference, the 22nd, the 21st of July.
You have tied up dates for next year already.
Yeah.
So people see that this is an idea whose time has come, Mr. Johnson.
Correct. And we have partners like ICA, Inter-American Corporation on Agriculture.
Right. Yes.
Partners like CAFAN, the Farmers Network from around the Caribbean. We have partners like the Caribbean Women Producers Network, Rural Women Producers Network, CASME, Caribbean Association of Small and Medium Enterprise. It is overwhelming as it relates to their involvement and their participation, and they're anxious to see it come to fruition.
What would be your word to the people from the MSME sector who are watching us now? What would be your encouragement to them to come to this conference? Speak to them. Why do they need to come to this conference?
We are in business to make money. If it were for pretty looks, I wouldn't be here. So this will enable you to do better business for your enterprise. So together, each achieve more. There are markets out there. You might not have individually that level of resources to do that marketing promo. We are giving you that opportunity. So buy it up and come to the conference. Meet the people who will cause that to happen. Because we are looking on trading, financing, and policy, as I've said earlier. One of our greatest challenges around the region is the low level of lending that takes place. You can't propel an economy in a meaningful way when there's no facility to facilitate your endeavor. So we are looking on creative ways, and as a part of that, I must tell you that Stock Exchange, Jamaica Stock Exchange, is on board as a partner too. JBDC, JAMPRO.
Okay. So the government entities, government is giving us a lot of support finally. Government is supporting.
Yes, they are. They are. They are supporting us tremendously. And they are our partner.
Your partner.
And as I'm not sure if you know, but we have done it just a couple of months ago. We have signed an MOU, SBAJ, with the Stock Exchange, because a part of this forward thrust is to get at least 30 of our small and medium enterprise up to competitiveness, or international competitiveness. And we see utilizing the expertise of a stock exchange and even up to IPO as a part of that to get them to scale up and to move forward. Because we all know it, there is a capacity issue as it relates to the MSME sector. You get an order, you can only do the first 2 containers, and after that, your customer is frustrated with you because they have established a market and unable to supply.
So this is a conference where you hope to provide answers to these issues.
Correct. Correct.
Deal with the challenges that have traditionally faced the small business sector.
And that is why it is for 3 days, intensive 3 days in Montego Bay with regional players.
And you're encouraging small business people to come out.
Come on board, get on board if you want to do well.
For their benefit. President of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Hugh Johnson, telling us about the MSME Conference coming up next month, July 19 to the 21st at the Hilton Rose Hall Hotel. Keep tuned to us here on Issues and Answers. We give you the information that is useful. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
Being a good father is not always dependent on what you can give a child. Sometimes they just want someone who will physically be there, focusing on the little things. Voices of Our Fathers spotlights one of those men who understand the awesome responsibility and privilege of being someone's father.
I never really grew with a dad. Never knew what it's like to have a father around. Being a father, I said to myself, I will do much better than my father. That's one of the things that kept me really going.
I'm going to ask you to put your hands together for Giovanni Richard.
Parenting is I learned now, it's a lifetime job. It's not a one-off, 3-day wonder. It's very challenging, but you know, I make a pledge or a promise to myself. I stick to the task, come what may, and that really kept me going. Jay, remember I got this one, was like, wow. And I was always telling you, keep focused, stay focused, and you only can get better.
Sometimes we help me study most of the time, and he always motivates me sometimes, like when I let down myself. He is special because he cares for me. He's always looking out for me, and he's loving and kind. Daddy, thank you for looking after me for all those years, 9 years and a couple months, and I hope you will live to see me grow up big.
I never really grew with a dad. Never knew what it's like to have a father around. You know, so recently, I found a dad, and it brought closure in my life. And of course, we would say, well, father never mind, you know, mind your son, and you know, so it's very important to have a father. As a matter of fact, it's very important to have both parents in anybody's life. When one parent is missing, it's have a psychological effect on the child. I went through a lot emotionally. I remember even at times, you know, making up stories that I'm going to spend holiday with my dad, and there's no dad. You know, it kind of really took a toll on me. You know, and sometimes things do happen that you can get strength from it. It either break you or make you. So he's not there, and me ensuring that I'm there, I think it further encouraged me to stay. But then again, on the other hand, it still saddened me to see that now I am the father of my child, ready to play this role, but then his mother now, on the other hand, is absent. So it's more like he's heading the direction that I was in, and that's the real sad part about it. That's the real sad part about it. I would rather a situation that he had me as a father and his mother is present, that I never have that settings. So I'd rather that, but it is what it is.
He has been a very supportive father. He would come in at time to time to, you know, find out how Giovanni is doing, and if he has any issues at home, he would come and he would talk to me about it. Sometimes we come up with solutions together, and he really supports Giovanni. Even in our last sports day, he was here, and Giovanni participated in one of the races, and he was there to cheer on Giovanni. And Giovanni felt so proud to know that his dad was there. He's one of the top students, and I always encourage him, you know, to work hard, because he has the ability, and I'm just waiting to see what he's going to be in the future, because he's an amazing student, and I know that he's going to do well. And his dad always, you know, show that level of care and support and encouragement. And I think his dad is doing a wonderful job. He must be commended.
My type of work, I've been working long hours, but I always call and find out how Giovanni is doing. You have your lunch money and everything. Okay? Pencil in your bag? All right, and remember, say the little prayer before you step out. Remember that, Gio.
Sometimes when he's gone, I feel sad, because sometimes he's the only company I have.
My mother, before she got ill, used to take care of him. My sister and a lady friend. I've met a lot of fathers out there, good fathers, who motivate me, and I get strength from them also.
When Marky is not at home, Jay stay with me or my children. He's dedicated, he's mother and father for his son. I think Jay means the world to him.
But in all of that, it to me doesn't really add up to Giovanni, because he's more expecting me, my present, more than any other present. And sometimes I feel like I owe him much more, because it's not really the time that you spend, it's more like the quality time. Because you have a lot of persons who are present and yet still you are not active.
I would say, to the best father in the world, from your loving son, Gio. Happy Father's Day. I hope you will live to see many, many more Father's Day, and I wish you the best.
Remember, Daddy loves you. I'm saying that as fathers, we need to play that role. Be strong, not only to be the man at the house, but the man who is present physically, spiritually, all of the financially, all of the outlets. It helps.
On Father's Day, much of the world is taking time to appreciate the work of good fathers. While you show your admiration for your own dad, take the time to see if you have what it takes to be a great father yourself. I hope you found our program informative. We appreciate your feedback, so send them to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Take a trip on our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and stay informed on the go. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.